The Minnesota Timberwolves are up against the Los Angeles Lakers 3-1. And to break it all down, we have elite basketball mind, a living legend, the lamppost. No, okay, he's there. Okay, he's back. At first I thought to you, oh, he brought in the hat.
I think it's from 1997.
Okay. Is that when you were born?
Everywhere.
1997.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, he's taking off the shirt, pulling out the JJ Barea jersey. We're going flashback. Wow. I remember when the Timberwolves signed Barea from the Dallas Mavericks after he had that title run back in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
What a signing that was. Turned out to be all right.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good role player, but it doesn't really pay to be an okay role player on a team that wins like 15 games.
Totally. But he had the series. He had the series
versus
versus
the Mavs. He was phenomenal. Yeah, again, with a specific
LeBron.
role, he was phenomenal.
The question that I need to ask you, were you wearing that jersey during the Timberwolves win versus the Lakers today?
Nope, I was. I didn't. Yeah. So there's probably still a curse because I wore this during the Western Conference Finals last year, and we decided that was a cursed jersey.
The reason why I asked this is because as much as you think it might be a curse against the Timberwolves, it's legitimately a curse against LeBron James because JJ Barea prevented LeBron, was a big part of LeBron choking in his NBA Finals in 2011. So I was thinking if you're wearing the jersey, maybe it sent the vibes to Target Center, and LeBron James was feeling the JJ Barea effect and was choking in the fourth quarter because he had 0 fourth quarter points.
Well, when you play 46 minutes as a 40-year-old, the legs might feel a little tired in the fourth quarter of a pretty physical game. I don't know. When I texted you, did you get when I went, did you get that I was doing the...
That's what it was. Okay. I didn't fully understand that. It took me a second.
And I didn't want to explain it, so I was like, I just hope they get it, that it's the Steve Parachka sending those vibes.
The sense.
The right
For those that don't know, you're sending the vibes to Target Center. LeBron's going to miss.
Get up and physically
Austin Reeves going to miss the last second three at the corner. Wide open.
Yep.
Austin Reeves going to miss. Luka Doncic is going to miss 5 layups in this ball game. Gotta send it to Target. And you got to remember that, like, it's all about direction, too. Okay? Like, if you're south, well, you got to aim it a little north. And if you're north, you got to aim it a little south. And if you're...
I was aiming straight east for you.
Yeah.
Straight east.
Good call. Yep. Straight down 12.
Right down Highway 12. Got through, Delno and Maple Plain. Kind of wound its way through Minnetonka, Wayzata, and I got all the way down to Target Center.
All right.
Right through Ramp A and just boom.
I mean, it worked. It worked.
It did.
Timberwolves down double digits to start the fourth quarter. But first, I need to tell you about 5-Star Bass Solutions of Minneapolis. Have you heard about 5-Star Bass Solutions of Minneapolis before, Jacob?
I'm trying to remember. I mean, yeah. I think you said them, right?
Yeah, so, they're the sponsor of the podcast.
See, yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, I'm not a Minneapolis guy, so I'm not, in the Minneapolis business scene, but I've heard you mention them, so yeah.
Yeah, if you need a bathroom remodel anywhere in the great state of Minnesota, contact 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis. They'll even come out to Litchfield or Watertown or wherever you want to be.
Oh.
They redid our bathroom in 48 hours. A complete remodel. Let's take a look at the before and after pictures, shall we? Okay, let's do it.
I gotta finish my basement, so I mean, that would be something.
Before, ugly step, moldy shower, handbars. We didn't like it. Outdated, ugly, embarrassing.
Yeah.
Any kind of noun or synonym that you can use.
11.
After.
This is the Wolves of 2025.
There we go. New shower, bath, floors, double sink, vanity, updated, modern, all in 48 hours. We had our bathroom back in 3 days. It wasn't a 6-week-long project. Plus, it was affordable, and they have payment plans available. 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis. Check them out today to get your bathroom remodel done right and quick. No more pouring down into your teeny tiny bathroom downstairs for 6 weeks. 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis will have that done in 48 hours, and you'll have your dream bathroom for the rest of your life. Check them out today. All right. Timberwolves down double digits start the fourth quarter. Had a rough third. Got outscored 36-23. Offense did not start off well. Defensive rebounding was terrible to start the quarter. Lakers got an early lead to start the quarter. But then fourth quarter comes. Edwards goes off to start the fourth quarter, sets the tone. And I told my wife at the beginning of the fourth quarter, because it's like, 10-point lead. If the Lakers get out to a hot start in the fourth quarter, we'll turn it off, we'll go outside, and we'll have a good time outside. But it's one of those things where it's like, okay, this could go either way. If the Timberwolves start out good, we're back in the ball game. If the Lakers start out good, the game's over. Well, Edwards goes off, starts off well, gets the Timberwolves back in it, and then it was crunch time. So your reaction to the fourth quarter and what you saw in this ball game, and we'll dive into more and more as this podcast continues.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, the third quarter, I mean, the Lakers had 7 threes in the third quarter. That's a huge difference considering they made, 19 for the game. That's a big chunk of their threes, obviously, in the third quarter. They were hot. Those threes did not continue to fall in the fourth quarter. And you kind of could feel that, right? I mean, we were talking a little bit, like, you could feel it was kind of on the edge. The Lakers were just kind of barely holding on, is what it felt like. And obviously, biased Minnesota fans. But it felt like the Lakers were kind of throwing all their punches that they could, and it was only a 10-point lead. And it's like, if we can just hit a few shots, if Ant can get going, if any of our role players hit anything for once, it felt like nobody was making much besides Julius. Then we could get it done, and Reid comes in, saves the day.
A 10-point lead evaporates so quickly, too.
Oh, yeah.
A 10-point lead is like 2 possessions, and you're right back in the game. 2 threes, and it's a 4-point game. And it's like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened.
Think about the kind of the early 2000s era, where it'd be like the final score was 72-68, and how much if you had a 10-point lead in that era, it was like, might not make it back, right? Now it's just, I mean, they don't even, the swings of a normal NBA game, it's not just Wolves-Lakers, obviously, it's just the NBA in general. Like, it's 10 points, it's just bang, bang, you miss a couple shots, you make a couple shots, and all of a sudden it's a 2-point game.
Even 20-point leads aren't safe anymore.
No, even when we were up like 15, even that kind of game one, it got to 15 or whatever it was, and, the Bulls were feeling a little, they're going to be able to hold on?
Totally.
Kind of sniffing around,
They were.
There's no lead that's too safe. Yeah, it doesn't feel like it. I guess unless you're the Thunder winning by 50, whatever, in game one. But, besides that, you never know. And then even for, what was it, 111, 107, I think it was. We're up 4 with like a minute and a half left. And you kind of think to yourself, well, it's seems like not insurmountable, obviously plenty of possessions, but you're like, this feels pretty safe. Like, all we got to do is probably make one more basket or maybe get fouled, like make a couple free throws, and this should be in the bag. And all of a sudden we were down 113, 111, just, drop of a hat.
Right.
So things change quick.
They do change quick. Well, let's go all the way back to the end of the game, and we'll talk about other things as this podcast goes forward, about other plays at the end of the game. But the big talking point at the end of the game is going to be LeBron James's foul on Anthony Edwards that was originally called out of bounds on Edwards. And this is a rule that got changed because of Jaden McDaniels last year. McDaniels, I think it was the Nuggets series or the Dallas series, he was fouled last year in the playoffs. And you could not review fouls in those circumstances. And they went to the review center. You could see it must have been the Dallas series. You could see Kyrie Irving's arm all over Jaden's, but the ball went out on Jaden, and you can't change the call into a foul. Well, the Timberwolves just received the benefit of their own failures last year because the play gets changed from out of bounds on Anthony Edwards to a foul on LeBron James. And the thing that I just want to mention here is, before this series began, even think back 10 years ago when LeBron's in his prime. Fast forward. We're in 2015. If I told you 10 years from now, the Timberwolves will be competing against the Lakers, LeBron James is on the Lakers, there was a referee that called the play out out of bounds on Anthony Edwards, but LeBron playing for the Lakers fouled Edwards, and then they reviewed the call and they call the foul on LeBron, you are going to call me 10 different kinds of crazy for saying something like that. But that's exactly what happened.
What I was wondering, I mean, we watch a fair amount of NBA. They showed like all these different camera angles like 10 different times. They kept looking at it. The announcer's like, "Oh, it's clean. It's off Edwards clearly." Blah 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 blah.
Yeah. RJ.
And all of a sudden, it was like from the heavens, this like sky cam comes out of nowhere.
Seriously.
like I don't think I've ever seen that camera angle before in an NBA game, and it's just like, oh,
totally.
you just see the like LeBron hand like right on that wrist, and it was just like. Right away, all of a sudden, all three announcers were like, no, that's foul. Just came out of nowhere.
But the NBA officiating had the courage to overcome and change the call against LeBron James. We're talking about arguably the greatest player ever has a call go against him.
Yep. And I mean, LeBron's still way more important than Ant, but there's probably an argument to be made that Ant ascending and making some sort of run, and you'd have to finish it off, of course. But Ant winning a title, again, LeBron winning a title would be a bigger deal. But it's not like, my point is, it's not like Ant's a nobody. It's not like we are, even like the Detroit Pistons where it's Cade Cunningham, no one cares. Or if you're the
Orlando Magic, right?
The Orlando Magic, no one really cares about Paolo. They're fun, great, but like no one would want to see them succeed. Like people in the world want to watch Anthony Edwards. Like, obviously, LeBron's number one. He's above Ant still. But Ant's, like, in that tier. So, I mean, maybe we have that going for us. They're not going to rig it against us. I don't know.
LeBron, during his post-game press conference, says, the hand is a part of the ball. You see these plays all the time. It's a little different because your hand hit Edwards' wrist. Both wrists, in fact. When they really slowed it down, they show LeBron's hand hitting the left wrist of Edwards, and then as it comes across, it hits the right wrist of Edwards. And I don't know if there's a player that I trust less on the Timberwolves to tell a coach to review a play than Anthony Edwards, because he complains a lot and he's talking a lot to the officials, to the coaches, telling them to review a play that he thinks should be reviewed and he thinks should have been a foul. And there's a lot of times where the coaches don't listen to Anthony Edwards. But this time they did. And this time Edwards actually was right for a change, which was huge.
It does show, Finchie, right? In the playoffs especially, and then regular season game, it's kind of like, whatever, who cares? But in a playoff game, there's almost zero situations where it's worth reviewing anything in the first, second, or third quarter.
Oh, totally.
And like even the first half,
unless
of the
it's
fourth
so
quarter.
obvious that you're going to get right, and then you'll still have one left at the end of the game.
Correct. Right. If it's something like that, sure. But yeah, anything that's like, even if anybody says a question about it, don't even bother, because if we don't have a challenge there, it's Lakers ball, 8 seconds left, and how different things might be. So that's a simple thing, but again, Finch doing Finchy things. He seems like he's always pretty prepared.
Yeah. At the end of the game, during the final few possessions, for some reason, the Timberwolves' offensive strategy was to go Dante DiVincenzo versus LeBron, Naz Reid versus LeBron. So LeBron was lethal defensively. They called that foul on him, which was a huge break for the Timberwolves, and it was a foul.
Yep.
But offensively, LeBron scores 0 points in the fourth quarter. In the second half, the Los Angeles Lakers do not sub a single player. In fact, it goes all the way back to the second quarter with 2 minutes and 37 seconds left. The Los Angeles Lakers do not take out any of their players. So you got LeBron, Luka, Hachimura, Finney Smith,
yeah,
and Austin Reeves going the distance. Obviously they're your best five, and if they win the game, nobody's saying boo about Redick's decision to leave those players in for the entire game.
Yeah.
But Vanderbilt is serviceable and can give you a 2-minute run. Gabe Vincent is serviceable and can give you a 2-minute run. It was a smart decision by the Lakers to sit Jackson Hayes because why is he in the game to begin with? It's one of those classic situations where he plays the first 2 minutes of the first quarter and the third quarter. For what reason? He doesn't see any time after that. So, why is he in the game at all? It makes no sense. And he didn't play at all in the second half, which makes sense. But the Lakers have at least 2 or 3 serviceable bench pieces, and Redick not going to them at all in the second half when LeBron and Luka had to pour so much effort and energy in the first half is going to be a highly controversial subject following this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously from Redick's perspective, this is what I got to imagine they were talking about. Now, first of all, if LeBron wants to sit, he's going to sit. And if LeBron told Redick, hey, I'm playing the whole second half,
that's true.
Redick's not going to tell him no.
That's true.
But
because LeBron knows how important this game is. If you go down 3-1,
they all know the difference between 3-1 and we will have 3 games as a chance to finish them off versus 2-2 going back to LA. I mean, that is a completely
if you're 2-2,
different...
Lakers are favored then. You got 2 out of 3 at home.
100%, because they just got to win 2 out of 3 at home. Yep, correct. And so, I mean, I think it's Redick, all of them, obviously, recognizing that we have to push all our chips on the table right now. Otherwise, if we lose, there's no, the odds that we are going to do anything is, slim to none. But at the end of the day, too, though, even, again, LeBron had 0 points. Luka didn't have a great fourth quarter. He had a couple shots, but it wasn't amazing. They just ran out of gas. And yeah, like you said,
they only scored 19 points in the fourth quarter. They had no legs left.
Nope. I was talking to your brother about the same thing. It was like Vanderbilt, he's not amazing, but he's an instigator. He rebound every single shot that goes up. He is getting his hand on. You could box him out to half court, and it seems like he's just flying in somehow, and either gets it or tries to tip it to somebody or something. Just causes us, again, makes the Wolves actually box out, which Reeves isn't crashing. LeBron's not really crashing. Luka's never crashed. Those guys aren't crashing for rebounds. That's obviously not their game, but you get my point where Vanderbilt can serve a role. He's not going to shoot 100 times. He's going to set screens, rebound, and hustle. That's serviceable. Gabe Vincent, when he was with the Heat, he was unstoppable during that finals run.
He was.
And obviously it's a couple years later. It's a little different, whatever. I get that. But 13 minutes from him, 7 from Vanderbilt. And I know Jackson Hayes has gotten ripped and, he's not good. But, I mean, if you go back to the Mavs series, and obviously, again, what's his face? I can't remember who Gafford and the other guy.
Oh, yeah. Lively.
They're
Lively.
Better than Hayes. That's fine. But what makes Luka so elite as a passer usually is his ability to hit any kind of lob or dunker spot kind of guys. I know Jackson Hayes is not amazing. But when Rudy Gobert's on the floor, I don't see how you couldn't give that look a chance where Jackson Hayes is setting a screen, seeing if you can get him in that role, get him in that dunker spot, get him, the alley-oop type situation, and still have your 3 shooters around Luka besides him. Again, just as something to try, so you're not playing these guys 46 minutes. But
I wonder if the Lakers first offered or even thought about offering Finney Smith for Luka Doncic, because there's a chance that the Dallas Mavericks would have done that trade, and you could have kept Luka, LeBron, and Anthony Davis on the same team for a title run. There's a chance.
There's a chance. You never know. I mean, what else they got? Let's see. They got Markieff Morris.
Veteran presence.
Alex
playoff experience.
Ronnie James,
Hey, we traded for LeBron.
Oh, it's like in your fantasy draft back in the day when you didn't have the full name, so you accidentally drafted the Adrian Peterson that played for the Bears, who's the 3rd string running back. No.
I thought I drafted Adrian Peterson in the 7th round.
Even Dalton Connect, I know he kind of faded out of the rotation. It's he probably can't play in a playoff series, but dude can shoot. I mean, granted they shot 40% from 3 today, so that wasn't their main problem, but I don't know.
It just seems. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it doesn't seem like they needed those guys to play 46 minutes because Luka was coming off his sickness. He was dying. LeBron's 40. I mean, it's just, and it's not like about the way the Wolves play the Lakers. I mean, it's not 90s-esque quite, but Randall is a physical
he is.
presence.
He's built for the playoffs.
McDaniels is picking guys up, 94 feet. Ant's picking Luka up 94 feet. Like, the Wolves have a young, tireless energy and physicality that Luka has no interest in matching, and LeBron just can't match for 46 minutes. I mean, again, in spurts, LeBron still can, for sure. But for 46 minutes, he can't bang with Randall and bang with Reid and Ant and all this. It's just, he can't do it anymore.
For the NBA is rigged crowd. And for the NBA, for Minnesota sports fans that are so victim, that have such a victim mindset of leagues going out to get Minnesota sports teams. Oh, we're Minnesota. Woe is us. We can't catch a break. In a Lakers must-win game, they changed an out-of-bounds call on Edwards and called a foul on LeBron. And during this game, LeBron James shot 18 free throws, but as a team, the Lakers shot 25. Anthony Edwards shot 17 free throws. And as a team, the Timberwolves shot 33. 8 more free throw attempts than the Los Angeles Lakers in a must-win game for the Lakers. And there were also several calls in this game. I think about the kick off of Julius Randle's foot that then went out of bounds, and they called a shot clock violation. That should have been a fresh 14 for the Lakers. I think about the end of game situation. Luka dribbling the ball up the court, falls on Jaden McDaniels' foot. And whether it's a foul or not, I think it is. But NBA officials, 99 times out of 100, are going to call that a foul in the open floor. And they did earlier. And they don't call it on Jaden. Luka would have had 2 free throws for the lead to go up by 1 with 33 seconds left. No whistle. So as much as Minnesota sports fans, not me, I am, I'll be honest, I do not fall for the victimhood of referees coming out to get us and being against leagues hating Minnesota sports fans. This game is tremendous evidence that the officials don't hate Minnesota sports teams.
I agree. I mean, obviously we were joking, getting into it about the reffing and whatever. It's fun to do in the moment because it's like, I don't know, it's just what you do a little bit. Yeah. Come on. That wasn't a kick. It's like, well, he literally kicked it. It was a kick. But in the moment, you're like, no, that wasn't a kick.
Plus the elite free throw shooting from the Timberwolves late. The Jaden McDaniels and 1 converted the free throw. Timberwolves down 2. Edwards gets fouled by Luka on a 3 with about 3 minutes left. Edwards drills all 3 free throws. So clutch free throw shooting from the Timberwolves late, which is something that should not be overlooked.
Yeah, I mean, the percentage overall wasn't, I think it's like 72% for the game.
Right.
Or 78%, sorry. But yeah, the fourth quarter was a lot better, obviously, than the rest. Yeah, Luka and LeBron were the only 2 to take free throws for the Lakers. But again, I mean, that's not shocking, right? You basically have Austin Reed shooting threes, Rudy shooting threes, and then you have 2 guys shooting all the rest of the shots. I mean,
right.
LeBron technically only had 9 attempts just because he had 18 free throws.
Yeah, is that crazy?
18 free throw attempts, I should say. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, it's just the Lakers do not have a, even if they got past the Wolves, they are definitely not a team that's built to win multiple rounds. They just don't have enough.
Luka Doncic needs a specific team around him. And with the Dallas Mavericks, he had that specific team around him. He had the secondary scorer, 1A guy, Kyrie Irving. But then he had athletic wings to guard the likes of Anthony Edwards. And he had the bigs like Derek Lively and who's the other one?
Yeah, Daniel Gafford or whatever.
Daniel Gafford. So like guys that could contest Edwards at the rim. Edwards gets into the paint versus the Lakers, And who is meeting him at the rim if Jackson Hayes is not on the floor?
Oh, and even if Jackson Hayes is on the floor, he doesn't
Yeah,
provide a
right.
lot of protection compared to Lively or Gafford, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, they don't have a defensive answer. I mean, they don't. Again, long term, you got to do the trade because Luka's
Right.
a generational talent that makes the Lakers relevant for the next 10 years. But yeah, as a team, they got some building to do around, maybe, LeBron until he holds out, until he's gone, but Luka and making a team that's better for him. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Reid is a good sidekick, but at the end of the day, I mean, you always have two guys you can go at. And
Mm-hmm.
if you have the guys that can do it, or even just one, that's the one thing. Think about all the years, we had KG, we had Kevin Love, even I wouldn't really count Big Al, but even Towns. The issue we always had that people always talked about, right? It's a big
Mm-hmm.
when it gets down to it, the last 5 minutes a game, how are you going to get those guys shots?
Mm-hmm.
KG could do it a little bit, a little bit mid post kind of stuff, whatever. Obviously, he was phenomenal, but just Kevin Love again, kind of similar. Like we can get him some shots. Towns, none of those three are breaking anybody down. They can't go get a bucket just when you need a bucket. We saw
Mm-hmm.
Ant how many times today? I mean, granted, some are some tough step back, side step three kind of situations, but he can get to the rim almost whenever he wants. I mean, he was passing two guys on his own and then like sidestepping around the bottom three guys in the zone to get a basket.
Right.
The difference between having a guy and not having a guy, right? I mean, it's the difference between looking like a genius and look like an idiot. Well, you look like a genius when you got a guy like Ant run the show because he just makes things happen that most guys can't make happen.
Right. The best offense for the Timberwolves down the stretch was Anthony Edwards breaking him down, getting two defenders towards him in a double team or whatever, finding a guy in the open slot near the free throw line or in the corner, whether that's Jaden McDaniels or Naz Reid or Dante DiVincenzo, and those guys get a wide open look.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's up to them to knock down the shots. And
Mm-hmm.
Naz Reid has been terrible in game 3 and game 4 in the first 3.5 quarters of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Game 3 comes in, knocks down two huge threes. Game 4 comes in, knocks down two huge threes in the final 5 minutes. Plus, as crazy as it sounds, the Timberwolves defensively down the stretch are actually better with Naz Reid than Rudy Gobert. Because even though Gobert is the 4-time defensive player of the year, and that's all deserved, Naz Reid can be a little bit more physical with Luka, with LeBron, and the Timberwolves can switch 1 through 5 without having to hedge, without having to manipulate the offense a different way by using different defensive techniques. They can just switch, and Naz Reid can handle Luka enough. And Gobert has his moments. He's had his moments throughout the series where he's handled Luka. But when Gobert guards Luka, he needs to almost sag off a little bit and rely on his length. And when Luka takes that step back three, Gobert's cooked. Whereas Naz Reid can press up against Luka and shift side to side just as quick as Luka can.
You took all the words out of my mouth I was going to bring up. Basically, because, again, it's very overstated. Like, if you watch Twitter, you'd assume, or like X or whatever, if you just kind of consumed the content online only, you'd assume that Gobert's defense has just been awful.
Mm-hmm.
It's really not. I mean, he's been very good on the perimeter, but the difference is what you said at the end, where in order for him to guard LeBron or more so Luka in a switch,
Right.
he takes that extra kind of step back. And that's the only way that Luka creates space, because Luka's not a elite speed guy. He doesn't, his game is either getting ahead of steam or just getting to a step back. And Rudy, when you sag off just that little bit, that gives him both options, right? He can either go full speed at you, in which case now Rudy's on his heels, and he almost always has a good contest. But Luka's obviously one of the best offensive players in the world. Like, doesn't matter if Rudy Gobert's contesting his little runner or a step back, because even the step back threes, Rudy's usually there. but it's too late. Like Luka's that good. So the difference is when Naz Reid gets into the switch, he's bodying Luka 30 feet from the hoop. Well, Luka can't get the head of steam that he's used to, and his step back is still over a 6'11" dude. So I mean, Naz again, not an amazing defensive player. He's fine, whatever. But in this series, especially for what they're trying to do, who they have to stop, Naz Reid is perfectly capable. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Rudy play 26 and Naz play 20. I mean, that could definitely be flipped, let alone on offense. I mean,
right. Because Gobert is on the offensive side, and what are they going to do? They're going to leave him and double Edwards. And the problem with that is when Edwards finds Gobert, Gobert's lost with the ball. Versus,
it is weird. Like, you'd think being as 7'2" for your whole adult life, like, I get not being whatever, having a whole, pocket full of moves. That was the layup he tried to shoot today. I don't remember, it was first or second quarter. He got an offensive rebound.
It's right there. You're 7'2", dunk the ball.
He kind of fumbled the first one. Fine, it's whatever. And then the second one, he flat hand finger rolled it.
Yes, what's he doing? I know exactly what the one you're talking about.
And then rolled around and went out, and it was just I just sat and looked at the TV that's an NBA guy getting paid how much to do what? Yeah. Because again, I get he's not going to have 20 moves in his bag. Whatever. Okay, fine. You're
first possession of the game too.
It's just
a designed Gobert post up against Austin Reeves. And then Gobert stripped, and the Lakers are going the other way. If you want to catch the Lakers off guard, have your opening possession be a designed post up on Rudy Gobert. They will never see it coming. And they're glad that they'll never see that coming. They will welcome that unpredictability.
Yeah. I just want to know, what does he practice? If he does he not why? I mean, maybe I don't know. Whatever. It's just not worth getting into. But he's a fascinating human being.
It is worth getting into.
And he just mean mugs everybody. He just because I mean, at the end of the day too, the Wolves had some dumb things.
Gobert, in all reality, the Timberwolves are not the smartest IQ team on the floor.
No, nor would anyone claim them to be. But Rudy Gobert just elbows the crap out of LeBron. The Randall foul on Luka on that 3. Just stuff where it's you want to be mad as a fan, saying oh, what a dumb foul, or that's not a foul, and you're what are you doing? That's the dumbest thing you could have done. I mean, LeBron just boxed him out. It wasn't an overly aggressive box out. And then Rudy just got mad about it.
Yeah.
How much adrenaline? Can I ask a question for you?
Yeah.
How much adrenaline was pumping through your veins when Ant started shoving LeBron 90 feet from the hoop?
That's one of my notes. That was so entertaining to watch, and I wasn't even watching the ball anymore.
No, I wasn't.
There was 3 possessions in a row where these two guys were going at it on both ends of the floor. And what is up the officials' butthole? Because how could you not see what was happening there?
The first possession,
it was right in front of the officials, right down the sidelines, right in front of the guy. And
and it wasn't subtle. It wasn't they were it wasn't Ant was 3/4 fronting and giving the little arm that
just
they would do.
2-hand shoves.
They both were just two. I mean, Ant obviously started it, and LeBron was retaliating. But Ant was literally just 2 hands and just shove right in LeBron's chest, and he kind of put up with it the first couple times, and then he just started shoving back. And then the second possession, he tried to post him up.
Yeah,
he just walked his butt right down to the block, and Ant had no answer. Ant was completely buried. I don't know how they didn't feed him the ball because LeBron just. I mean, it was just
he's a tank.
Moved him 10 feet down to the block and had his arm out. But
I do love the competitiveness from Edwards, and I think it got him going because that in the second quarter, and then Edwards went off and gave the Timberwolves the lead late.
Yep, he got himself. I mean, that's 100. That's had to be why he was getting himself going. I mean, that's like Holly said. She was watching it with us or with me, and said just yep, my wife. Sorry. He is so confident, can't even imagine even just having an ounce of the level of confidence that he has. Just
sometimes a little too confident.
Well, of course, yes, but going way back to when he was a rookie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Marty Gellner interviewing him, and he's like, "Yeah, I could go pro in every sport. It wouldn't matter." And it's like you hear it, and then you hear the way he says it, and you're like, he actually kind of believes that. Like he
Oh,
thinks if he just
totally.
practiced other sports, that he would be able to do it all. And then it happened with the Olympics too. Like with was it ping pong? That he's like, I could do that.
Totally. I
And they
could
were
score
like,
a point on her.
no, you can't.
Yeah.
Like these people are Olympic ping pongists. Like they
Mm-hmm.
devote their lives to it. And he's like, I could do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And obviously, there's a shred of what's the word? Delusion
Denial.
says
Delusion.
says Holly from the other room.
Yeah.
He's a little delusional, right?
Yeah.
But again, that's part of what makes him so good is that he thinks every single shot is going in from no matter where. He thinks he's better than LeBron. He thinks he's better than Luka. He thinks and again, that's part of what makes him so elite is that he has no conscience. It's just,
right.
I am going to go at this best basketball player of all time, shove him in his face because I am him.
Mm-hmm. Totally. And that's
you
the
hate
mindset
him
he has.
if you're against him, but you love him when he's on your team.
Seriously. Facts.
Yeah.
Well, Jacob, thank you for breaking down this. Timberwolves went up 3-1 in the JJ Barea uniform. Thank you for sending the vibes to Target Center. Man, what a game.
Is it going 5
Tuesday?
or 6? When do the Wolves win?
Oh, I'm scared that it's going 7.
See, yeah, you have the Minnesota thing. Yeah.
I do have the Minnesota thing. I do. I'll say we get them in 6.
I feel like that's the obvious answer.
Yeah,
They give one kind
so
of last
I'll say
flight
5.
here.
I don't want to be obvious. I'll say 5.
They just stomp on the throat here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'll stomp on the throat.
There's a lot of guys in the Lakers that got a lot of quit in them.
Mm-hmm. There is. Yeah.
Even
I'll say
LeBron
we beat them in 5.
They're writing on the wall a little bit.
Right.
But
yeah, I'm just looking at our percentage. It's not like we shot the lights out today. 14 of 36 from 3. It's not bad. 39%. Lakers, 40%. So you look for a discrepancy. It's like, oh, yeah, like the Lakers shot it way better. That's about the same.
Yeah, so we were just a smidge worse in each category. We had more shots just because we had 10 more shots.
They did make 5 more threes than we did.
Mm-hmm.
So we were able to overcome 15 more points in threes by the Lakers, which is pretty significant. But the big game changer in this game was the amount of offensive rebounds the Timberwolves got. And the turnovers the Lakers had too. So Lakers had
Ants only had 1 turnover.
I guess they only had 10 turnovers, but
I think it was like 10-9 or something.
I thought they had more, but that all happened in like the first half, I guess.
Yeah, it was early. Yeah.
Although LeBron had that killer one at the end of the game, trying to inbound the ball. Luka choked that one too.
Your best. At least just chuck it over into the, throw it up so that somebody can get it. He literally threw it right to McDaniels. Oh man. And 1 turnover. Think about how much he handled the ball tonight. 1 turnover. 43
He's best
points.
when he's a playmaker for himself and for others.
Yep. Yeah, himself first, and then others if he has to. And but at the end of the day, too, he does trust his teammates. So he'll fan it out there, and he found Jaden, and he doesn't care.
Yeah, big deal, big win. Timberwolves up 3-1. Jake, thanks for taking the time.
Thank you. We were going to get into the Wild.
We'll see what happens after game.
I didn't
5. Although I am being told that I'm the curse because I worked game 1 and didn't get home until like 1 a.m. in the morning. They played at 9. And then I worked game 4. Wild lost both of those games.
Who told you the Fallness? Fallness calling you out or what?
He didn't call me out. It was my mother-in-law.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, you're the curse.
Yeah.
Didn't even know you watched the Wild. I don't think she does.
I had to chaperone prom, and I pulled up the Wild on my phone because we were riding over. It was 2-2, and within, I'm not joking, 5 seconds, I pull up the phone, watching. Goal! Vegas, Golden Knights. Closing that. The curse.
Funny stuff. Well, Jacob, thank you for your time. Everyone, 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis. Check them out if you want the best bathroom remodel done in 48 hours. Great work. Great done. Great done. Conveniently done.
Great done.
Great done. This podcast is great done. Everyone will
It
talk
is
to you later.
greatly done.
Greatly done.
And it's
Bye
done.
bye.